What's going on? Uh-oh.
There's no turning back now.
Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction.
Now hurry along. As they say, look alive. This is one holiday you will want to survive.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a particularly spooky episode of the Sounds of the Monorail podcast. I'm Kyle Paxton. Right beside me, my twin brother Derek Paxton.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going freaking amazing.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm in a good mood.
That's cool. I'm in a spooky mood.
I don't know why. I mean, I just did laundry today, and nothing super exciting in particular.
Well, now you just feel clean, so.
Yeah, I guess so. I did take a shower, too, so.
Wow.
I don't know.
Dang. Let's talk about our hygiene today.
Today, like I said, it's a spooky episode, so we're going to be talking about urban legends. Some are spooky, some are not.
Some are fake, some are true.
Yeah, they're urban legends, you never know.
Yeah.
We're also going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to be talking about the Bob Iger's book for a little bit. We both read it, so we're interested to kind of discuss it a little bit.
We haven't talked about it at all, so probably won't make sure it takes up too much time on the episode, but we wanted to talk about it. Figured to talk about it here.
I mean, because Bob Iger's book's super spooky.
All right, guys, for this Halloween special, we're starting off with Bob Iger's book. It's Bob Iger's book. Boo.
Nice.
Okay. Anyway, we're apparently in a very happy mood today. We're both laughing like crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Well, and then after that, we're going to be talking about how Docking Bay 7 at Galaxy's Edge changed the menu item names, Rise of Skywalker trailer predictions, and then our urban legends.
Yeah. We'll see how long this episode goes. We always wonder if it's going to be a short episode or a long episode. They almost always end up being an hour long. So
yeah, I don't know how. We always manage to find a way to make it an hour. So.
Last week's was like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I feel
still
like
pretty close.
I just remember that one episode we were like, it's going to be 30 minutes probably. But then it ended up being like closer to an hour or even over. I don't even remember.
Yeah. I can't remember what episode that was.
My point is that we're very good at being around an hour.
Yeah.
With very little planning. So
yeah. And if we're worried the episode's gonna be 20 minutes long, we can stall like we're doing now.
Exactly.
Didn't mean to stall, guys. We'll go ahead and get going. Okay. What's first on our list? All right, Bob Iger's book. So you're actually the reason I listened to it. I read it. I want it to sound smart. We listened to the audiobook.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah. I tripped over words. I'm sorry. We didn't read it. We listened to the audiobook. Anyway, you're the reason I listened to it because you were really excited about it. You finished it, and then you were like, Derek, you really got to listen to this. So then I did. But now that I've listened to it, what stood out from you in this book and what made you want me to listen to it?
So I'm not a reader. I don't read books. Mm-hmm. Maybe listen to them apparently, but I never commit to a full book really. The only ones recently is that Star Wars book that you showed me, and then this one. And I was super into this one.
Yeah, I listened to it in a day and a half.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it all that quick, but pretty much any time I was alone walking somewhere or traveling, it was boom, in my ear, I'm listening. I think he just did a really good job of hooking you in the prologue. Very good job of he talks about the kid that got killed by an alligator at the Grand Floridian, and as he was also opening Shanghai, and then the Pulse shooting and how crazy that was for him. And I just thought it was super interesting. And he gives a lot of life tips along the way. It's kind of this weird look into somebody's life that's way up there that you're like never gonna like I'm not gonna be CEO of a company when I don't want to be, so it's not gonna happen for me. So it's interesting to see what he says about it. And then there's also a lot of insider things about timelines throughout his career too. So there's a lot of interesting stuff about Michael Eisner and Roy E. Disney and all of that. So
I mean, I've been vocal in past episodes about Bob Iger is not my favorite. I think he's a good CEO, but I don't think he's a creative one. And so with that mindset, I don't think he's the best CEO for Disney. I mean, he made them an empire, but we haven't had a creative decision in the last 10 years. But with that said, I think he's a good CEO. So I was interested in listening to this book and seeing, where that mindset comes from. And when I'm at work, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, or I should say listen to a lot of YouTube videos about Disney history and things like that. And this book was filled with it. Like you said, a lot of Michael Eisner, a lot about Roy E. Disney, which is really interesting. So those were probably my favorite parts of the book, besides maybe when he talks about Star Wars. My biggest problem with the book, and this is kind of leads to one of my biggest problems with Bob Iger as a whole, is the book didn't really touch on parks that much at all.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while he did, but Bob Iger is just clearly the entertainment dude. He's very involved with the movies, very involved with the shows, the Disney Plus streaming service, acquiring rights to every company in the world. But as far as the parks go, I feel like he's very on the side of, I don't really think I need to deal with this. Someone else can handle it.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting with the parks thing about him being the international guy in like opening Shanghai and bringing it everywhere. Yeah. That was really cool.
That's probably the most we got involving theme parks was opening Shanghai, which to his credit, he was involved with quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Michael Eisner put him in that situation.
Yeah.
He executed. So, but yeah, I kind of agree. I'm sure there's like creative things he's done with the international parks that maybe we aren't aware of too.
Maybe.
But definitely like here. Mm-hmm. Not so much, I don't think.
Do you think we would have ever opened a Shanghai Disneyland if it wasn't for Michael Eisner though? Like I don't think if Michael Eisner did not make that executive decision and Bob Iger was CEO, he wouldn't be opening theme parks in other countries, because the theme parks are way more they're much more of a risky business decision than a movie is. A movie you could just make freaking Beauty and the Beast live action and know it's going to sell well. You can't guarantee a Disney park is going to go well in another country, Euro Disney being the prime example.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or Disney's America. That didn't even open. It was so unpopular of a decision.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I don't know.
So I don't think Bob Iger would... I can't see him ever making a decision of opening a theme park.
Yeah. No, I totally see you there. I'm curious to see like what happens after Bob Iger too, because like
I'm so curious. I want to know who's going to replace him.
I feel like it could really go downhill.
I do too.
To be honest,
I do too. I think he built an empire that's not sustainable. It could be, but there's a chance that it's just going to crumble apart as soon as this guy leaves. He finds someone to replace him, and he just can't handle it, and things start falling apart. I don't know. I'm very curious what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was going to say, too, it's like, if only we could get, like, Michael Eisner and Bob Iger and the same person to do it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, the creative side of Eisner and, like, the like, not even business side of Iger, but like the communication side of Iger, because that's what a lot of what he said in his book was like. It seemed to like portray Eisner as more of like he had a hard time like dealing with people. Mm-hmm. Like Steve Jobs was a very difficult person for him to deal with, and there was a whole issue with that, right? Yeah. Whereas like, at least in his book, Bob Iger sounds very charismatic, right? So like. Mm-hmm. Even if that could just be given to...
Well, I think Eisner had Frank Wells to depend upon for the first half of his tenure as CEO. He had Frank Wells. Frank Wells was essentially his Roy Disney, and he was Walt, And Wells would be handling all of that communication aspect, and Eisner had all the ideas, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting book. I super recommend it.
Especially the audiobook. The audiobook was pretty good. Not very long, 8 hours. I mean, like I said, I listened to it on my commute to work one day, and then I listened to half of it at work that day, and then I finished it the next day at work.
Yeah.
So like, it's not very long. Like
no, it's not. I think it was like 8 hours or something. Maybe a little.
It was
longer.
8 hours. Yeah, it might have been 8.5, but it was like definitely 8.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Pretty. A lot of life tips in there too.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
For sure.
But yeah, super spooky start to this episode.
The Halloween edition.
Okay, so let's talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So, Docking Bay 7 Quick Service had their menu item names changed recently. They basically took the theming out of the menu. Mm-hmm. So now instead of like I don't know what their names are, the roasted shank or whatever.
Braised shark rib, the yip nip noodle something or other. I don't know.
Now it's just
but now it's like
chicken noodle soup or something.
Yeah, essentially it's like now you have pork ribs. Now you have shrimp noodle something or other. And to me, this is the beginning of the end of theming in Galaxy's Edge. Like, I'm sorry. This park was advertised and marketed as a brand new thing in theme parks where it'd be highly immersive. It would feel like you're in Star Wars. It wouldn't be like a theme park. You'd be in Star Wars, and it would just be incredibly immersive down to what the names are of the food items you buy. And I guess they got enough complaints from the crowd that thinks Spock is in Star Wars that they need to change the food items because people got confused. They couldn't read the descriptions underneath. Each food item would give you a description. It would say braised shark rib. And underneath it would be like, this is actually pork. So it wasn't an issue, but for some reason people have a problem reading descriptions underneath the actual name of the food. And to me, this is just the beginning of the end of theming for Galaxy's Edge. If Disney's willing to give an inch to these people that are complaining, they're going to give a mile eventually.
Yeah.
Like here pretty soon we're not going to have the character interactions we're seeing with the cast members where they're acting like characters from the movies or characters that they created in their mind. We're not going to get that here pretty soon because people are confused. Like people go up to cast members and be like, "Hey, where's the bathroom?" And the cast member will say something like, "Oh, our space poof shoot," something, or I don't know what they're calling, is like that way, and people get annoyed that it's a sci-fi name. They're not just saying bathroom. And I'm sorry if that's a problem. This isn't for you, you know. And yeah. Disney's just like wimping out on this idea that they can make this brand new thing, and it just it makes me so mad because this is something we could have had as new, and I just don't see it ending here soon. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I actually really agree with you on this. I think it's a little bit sad that they changed the names. It's like a really small thing.
It's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But just with this thing specifically, like eventually they're going to get to the point where they're not going to be doing this roleplay thing anymore. If they're willing to budge on this.
Yeah, and like when I first heard this, I was kind of like, well, maybe it's smart because like we legit wouldn't even eat there for like the first 2 days. We just kept going to the Ronto roasters and getting the Ronto wrap, which is really good. It was just like a good, secondary thing to get, I guess, instead of like a full meal. But like, I think the prices also kind of drag us away from Docking Bay 7.
Yeah, for sure.
But
the price of the Ronto wrap alone is too expensive to get every day.
But I'm not going to lie, when I first went there, I was like, dude, all this sounds gross. You know what I mean? And after thinking about it more, I don't know if it's necessarily that it sounds gross. It just looks gross.
Yeah.
Like with the chicken and potatoes or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't even eaten there yet. So
okay, there's like this one that they keep showing pictures of, and it looks disgusting. And I like never got like I don't know, but I like went there the other day and I had some and I really liked it. So
I've heard it's good. I keep hearing good things about the food.
Yeah, so I don't know if the name really matters all that much. I don't know if hearing chicken noodle soup versus yip tip noodle soup or whatever is gonna.
It's really not
matter.
that big of a deal if you look at like face value. It
Yeah,
really
yeah,
isn't.
yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where if like slowly but surely Disney's going to take away this immersive theming that they've advertised for years for this park, you know? And this is just the beginning of the end. Like, I don't see, if they're willing to budge on this, I don't see them stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, well, like, does Pandora, like, do they even act themed at all there anymore?
I don't even know. Well, that
Like-
that was never really like advertised to be something like that. It just kind of, or at least from my knowledge, but it
Yeah.
just kind of like became like cast members will call like the movie the documentary if you
Yeah.
bring it up, things like that. So I don't think it was really like advertised as like this
feel
is the
like-
most immersive theme park experience ever. You'll be in Avatar. At least I never really got that vibe. Maybe
Yeah,
it did.
I feel like they wouldn't even say it was the documentary. We should, like, test it. We should go
Yeah,
ask
sure.
the
Let's
cast member.
ask sometime because maybe now they gave up. Maybe they're not. That would actually be a good experiment to see how Star Wars is going to turn out.
Yeah.
Like 3 years from now, like Pandora, like
But then, like, you got the Star Wars hotel coming in, so maybe that'll revitalize kind of the theming again, or like Rise of the Resistance. Can I talk about how annoying it is that the attraction's name is Rise of the Resistance,
and
the
then we
new
have Rise
movies-
of Skywalker.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
I mix them up so
It
much.
drives
dude.
me crazy.
Yeah,
I go Rise of Resistance.
Yeah.
Like, I have to think about it.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, I get you though. I agree. It's kind of a bummer. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. They must have been getting a lot of complaints about it.
I'm sure they did, but it's just like I don't know. You make this ambitious project, like, well, Disney just wants to cater to everyone is the issue, you know?
Right.
Which like makes sense from a business standpoint, but if you want to do something ambitious, like make it so it's this like role play immersive experience, not everyone's going to be into that, and that's just something you have to accept. So I say you either go all in or you just do something else. In my opinion, I'd rather have just a normal theme park Star Wars based theme land, you know what I'm saying? I'd just rather have that than like a you know, a half-cooked like version of what we got. I still think it's fun, but like I think in the end I'd rather just have like a Star Wars theme park than like this immersive experience. In my opinion, I still like Galaxy's Edge a lot. I love Galaxy's Edge, but I think we could have just gone a theme park based on Star Wars, you know?
Yeah, we were both huge fans of Galaxy's Edge. We were like literally before this podcast, do you want to go to Galaxy's Edge after this?
We've gone to Galaxy's Edge so much. Like I grip on it a lot, I feel like, but I love Galaxy's Edge. I think it's outstanding. But
Which is why this is sad.
yeah,
They're changing
yeah.
this.
So like I'm just passionate, I guess. I don't want them
Exactly.
I don't want them to get rid of the Yip Nip noodles.
Yeah.
I've never even had them. I don't know. I'm just passionate, so I get critical about Disney's decisions because I care a lot about the brand and I care a lot about what it's going to be, you know?
Yeah, like, why can't they just put like the Tauntaun beef pot roast or whatever? I don't know.
Just
And
kind of
then,
use like both
and then
words.
then like a subtitle that says like
They-
it's actually a
they
chicken
do.
enchilada.
That's what they did.
That's what they did?
Yeah. There's always a description
Or was it like a
underneath.
description?
No, it always said chicken, like I don't know all
But was
the,
it like
the
a
menu
this
items,
bowl
but
contains chicken and peas and whatever?
it would
Was it
be
just
like it would be like a tauntaun meat bowl or something like that. I'm making these up. I don't know all the menu items. And then under the description, it would be like chicken pot pie with vegetable.
Yeah.
It said that. It actually had descriptions of what each item was.
Yeah.
And people
No, that's
just, I
really
guess,
sad then.
couldn't read the description of what these foods are. They just read the title and are just like, I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think like, yeah, because when I'd go into Docking Bay 7, I'd look at the menu and be like, yep, all these look gross, and then walk out. But I don't think it was ever because of the naming of it. It just like had this weird look to them. Mainly that chicken one. I know I'm going back to the chicken thing, but like I didn't like the way that looked.
But I know if you go to like Ronto Roasters and look at the Ronto wrap, it says like Ronto wrap, and then underneath it says like made with sausage, pita bread, turkey slices, zesty coleslaw, something or other.
Yeah, I remember like our first trip to Galaxy's Edge, we went to Ronto Roasters, and I asked the person like, So, like, what's in Docking Bay 7? Is there anything, like, different, like, good? And she was like, well, you got a lot of things. You got, like, the Tauntaun, Beef Blaster, the Womp Rat Roaster, whatever, I don't know. But she was like, but on Earth, it's called chicken. It was like,
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
why.
funny.
It's just funny to me.
And I just think of Galaxy's Edge just kind of like a game of Dungeons and Dragons, you know? Not everyone needs to be the best actors. Not everyone needs to be an actor 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But as long as they have fun with it, you know, and are, you know, communicating clearly to people. Because, like, I'll be a dungeon master for a group, and the group will not want to role play in the slightest. And that's
Just
fine.
like
Just
D&D?
like, yeah. For like D&D, and I just walk them through it like I would for a normal game. But sometimes I'll play with people, and they'll be like really into being role play, and then I can play with them, you know, and then role play as well. So like, and I think having the name of the food as like Tauntaun meat pie, whatever, and then underneath the description, actually what it was kind of like that. It was catering to both people, but one side complains too much because like all these other people are having fun role playing. I don't like that. I want this park to be for me.
Yeah.
And then so Disney caters to them because they want to try to make everyone happy, and just makes the other side annoyed, like me. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that like analogy made any sense, but like, I like the immersion so much, and I want to keep that. I think it could be even better, and I want it to be, but Disney's going the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, I say here's hoping that this isn't, you know, a ladder, and they're gonna keep getting rid of the theming. Hopefully, when the hotel comes and Rise of Resistance comes, it's gonna revitalize everying, and it's gonna be good.
Okay. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yep. Here we go.
Star Wars edition. Happy Halloween.
The real trick is that this is a Star Wars podcast.
Yep.
So, Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Yeah, so we're getting a Rise
Anyway,
of
more
Skywalker
Star Wars.
trailer tomorrow and Monday during Monday Night Football. Do you have any predictions at all for it? Want me to start?
Yeah, go for it. I
All
have
right.
no predictions, really.
I probably won't go on this too hard, or at least not as long as we did for Docking Bay 7 deal, because this was kind of a last-minute inclusion to this episode. We just realized the trailer is coming out tomorrow. Maybe we could talk about it real quick. But I think it's going to I think it's going to be, you know, like a typical trailer. It's going to lay the breakdown for what the plot is going to be like. I think we're going to see more shots of characters that we're told about, like deep take. I think we might get a shot of Palpatine. I'm hoping we'll get like a good like clip of him, like real fast. And then the last thing, I don't think we're gonna see anything about Dark Ray, because I think that was gonna stay in the teaser trailer, and they're not gonna talk about it anymore until the movie comes out.
I agree.
That's what I'm predicting.
I think that's what they should do. Yeah. I would like to see some of the Knights of Ren.
Yeah,
I haven't at all.
We haven't,
right?
not really.
Yeah,
and
so
they're
I'd
like
like
super cool looking. So I hope we see more of them.
Yeah, I'd like a little clip.
Yeah,
Just something to like tease, like who are these people? You know, like.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think it's going to lay a basic breakdown of what we should be expecting from the plot. I think it's going to tell us where they're going to be going and what they're going to be doing. So I think tomorrow we're going to find out whether that's Endor that they're going to with the Death Star on it. And I don't think we're going to find out what they're going to the Death Star for. I don't think so, but we might.
Yeah.
Might find out that's actually the Death Star and that they're going to Endor or something. I think that might be something we find out.
Totally. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I got. I wanted to just do a quick, like I said, we didn't put too much thought into this, but like basic face value thoughts of what we're thinking is going to show up in the trailer tomorrow. That's what I got.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to think about it, because I could have come up with something probably.
Did you see the teaser announcement trailer?
No.
It was pretty cool. It was just like a 5-second clip. It was just like, tomorrow, Star Wars trailer, Monday Night Football. And then it showed like a 3-second clip of Rey, Finn, Poe, and Chewie walking into the Millennium Falcon cockpit. which I really
that's
like
cool.
because I think that one of the biggest problems with the sequel trilogy right now is that we don't have all three of the main characters together, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine if they're separated,
just,
but
like,
they've never
not-
been together.
Did you just not include Chewbacca in there?
No, Chewbacca's in there. He's in the co-pilot seat.
I know, but like you said, the three main characters.
Talking about Finn, Rey, and Poe, like the three new main characters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Poor Chewie gets left out.
He gets
Left
the
out of
shaft so
everything.
much,
No,
dude.
Sorry.
he seriously gets screwed over like a lot.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Chewie, Rey, Finn, and Poe. Yeah, those three main characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Rise of Skywalker, I'm super stoked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, jumping out of this, we did want to announce something really fast.
Yeah.
We are looking to make another podcast. It's going to be mainly Star Wars themed.
Yeah, it's gonna be only Star Wars.
Only Star Wars themed.
Yeah, so we're gonna probably record that next week and have that. We'll kind of see what kind of release schedule will follow by. We'll probably release it alongside this one. My biggest thing is I don't want to affect this podcast.
Yeah.
I want to keep a schedule with this podcast. I don't want to make it so this podcast is only coming out once a month and we're doing also Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah, this one's definitely the main one. This one will not go away.
Yeah.
If it starts looking like that, the Star Wars one will probably go down for a while.
The Star Wars one is purely a spin-off podcast, essentially. Like we started feeling like we were talking too much about Star Wars on this Disney podcast, and we realized Star Wars itself could be its own thing. So
Yeah. And we have fun talking about Star Wars, so it's like
we do, yeah. So next week we'll launch Sounds of the T-16 Skyhopper, a Star Wars podcast, and we'll probably start with something like, or typical, like maybe we'll talk about past movies and things like that. Next week we'll probably talk about the trailer for Rise of Skywalker, and then leading up to Rise of Skywalker we'll probably do some The Mandalorian reviews week by week.
I think that was a big reason for us too,
Yeah.
is that Mandalorian's coming out.
And we really wanted to
or
review it,
something,
do some sort of review for that, but we also didn't want every week, because it's going to come out week by week. We didn't want every week to have a review about Mandalorian.
Exactly.
So we're going to do a separate podcast for that. And then maybe once all the Star Wars stuff kind of dies down, maybe we'll teeter out the Star Wars podcast. Maybe we'll keep it going. Maybe we'll find things to talk about. But for now, we felt like it was taking too much time in the Disney podcast.
Yeah. So that's our big news there.
Yeah.
And with that, let's get into the real spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Which half of it's spooky, half of it's not. But we have some urban legends about Disney that we wanted to talk about. I don't know. Did you want to go first or should I? We kind of know what each other's things are. It's not like a top 5 or anything. We just kind of came up with some urban legends and wanted to talk about them.
Yeah. So did you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first.
Okay.
This first one's super duper spooky. We're going to be talking about this crazy thing that I feel like the last few years, everybody was talking about it. Not the last few years, like 2 years ago, I feel like it was like everybody talked about it. It was like this huge conspiracy theory. And I don't know why, because I just think it's so silly. It's the turkey leg versus emu leg debate. People thought that the turkey leg was an emu leg for like the longest time. I don't know.
And I still don't know, because people told me enough times that it's actually emu that I accepted that was the case. Is it not?
But then you like Google it and it's like everyone's like it's false. And emu is like huge compared to a turkey or compared to the leg. So like I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just
I like.
turkey.
I'm peeking over. I'm looking at your show notes, and it's like turkey leg versus emu leg. Pretty sure it's just turkey.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it is just turkey. I don't know. Because why wouldn't they just call it an emu leg? If they could get emu, why not just call it that?
Well, I think it's definitely one of those things where a lot more people would buy turkey legs than they would buy emu legs. From
But
just
I
a
feel
marketing
like emu
standpoint.
leg sounds so exotic.
And that no one likes exotic things.
Okay,
You know how
that's
many
fair.
you know how many parents take their kids to get chicken nuggets? Like
I guess so.
France restaurant in Epcot.
You know how many parents take the kids to get Yip Nip noodle salad?
I saw how many people ate at the Electric Umbrella. I know people don't like exotic food.
That's true. I feel like turkey legs are kind of dying out too. Do they even like sell them anymore? Because I feel like I never see them ever.
Yeah, they still sell them. Every once in a while, I see someone walking around with one for some reason. I don't know why. They're gross.
Interesting.
Top 5 worst snacks.
I feel like
spoiler alert: turkey legs going on there.
I feel like if I could get like a quarter of a leg, I'd like it.
A leg quarter.
Yeah. Okay, well that was our first spooky topic.
Okay.
You got a next one there?
Yeah. Okay. I got something that's even more spooky. So, Pirates of the Caribbean and Disneyland. So, when Pirates of the Caribbean and Disneyland was first opening, they were, building the sets for the skeleton area, Imagineers, unfortunately, were not able to replicate the skeleton figure very well. They were very dissatisfied with the job they were doing with it. So, a couple of them had friends at the UCLA Medical Center. They went over there, borrowed some real-life skeletons, and used that as props in Disneyland Pirates of the Caribbean. And this is 100% true. This is a true story.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is obviously an urban legend, but it's actually something that actually happened. They slowly got phased out over the next generation of Imagineers that, were able to figure out the best way to replicate a skeleton. And so they did. However, rumor has it, there's still 3 real skeleton skulls in the ride. That I don't know if it's true or not. That's kind of like everyone assumes it's true, but I don't think anyone actually knows.
Interesting.
Yeah. You've never heard this story?
I think I have before. I didn't know like the specifics though. Like I just assumed it was false, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was interesting because I talked about what we were doing with this podcast today. I brought it up to them and I was like, yeah, actually we're doing this urban legends thing and I'm talking about these like the skeletons in Pirates of the Caribbean. They're like, oh yeah, I totally heard about that. So and I've never heard about this before.
Oh, interesting.
So like earlier this week. So that's kind of what made me want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was super interesting.
No, that is super cool. I feel like I feel like I've heard of it, but I just never realized it was true.
I'd want them to do that in modern days and today.
Like have just
a real skeleton.
corpses.
Yeah, corpses. Let's see if they can get.
You think the mermaid
with
corpse is real?
What?
You think the mermaid corpse is real? They sold it off. That's why it's not there anymore.
It was an actual mermaid corpse.
I don't know. That's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Very spooky.
Anyway, you got another one?
Yeah, so I have 2 more. Well, first, put in the comments down below which is spookier, turkey leg, emu leg, or
Pirates of the Caribbean real skeletons.
Pirates of the Caribbean corpses. Okay, so I got another spooky one, and I got a non-spooky one. It's just kind of more interesting, kind of a myth thing. Most people know this one. This is the non-spooky one, but the Haunted Mansion elevator. Most people just assume it goes down. It's like an elevator, right? Mm-hmm. Or they. That's what they assume is magic, I guess. But in the in Disneyland, the floor actually moves, so it's like an elevator. But Disney World, it doesn't. You're stationary in Disney World, and the ceiling actually moves. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Whenever I worked at Magic Kingdom, that was when I found out it wasn't actually an elevator because I would have to take out the trash in Haunted Mansion, so I'd have to walk through certain rooms. And I take a shortcut across like a hallway and backstage, and I realized that's all on one floor, and it like blew my mind. I was like, "Wait a minute!"
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Well, I feel like I never noticed. Like Disneyland, I've ridden both of them quite a few times, and I never noticed the difference between them. I'm like, it just feels the same. It feels like the room's stretching. I don't know.
Yeah,
they do a good job. I guess
it's a really good effect if you ever think about it. Like. Just appreciate it. It's really neat looking.
It like reminds me of the top 5 pre-shows that we did, And I had Haunted Mansion at like number 3 or something, and I still disagree that I did that.
Where did I have it?
You had it in 1. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, good.
Because that's like objectively where it should be. Is 1. Because I guess it just didn't resonate with me.
I want to change every one of my top 5s like the day after we record them.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I'm like never like I probably could have had that different.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's just kind of interesting. Kind of a you never know what. It is, so.
Yeah, definitely. So another one of my urban legends is that there's actually a secret basketball court inside the Matterhorn at Disneyland. And this one is actually another one that's true. Apparently they used to have some sort of like performance or show on the Matterhorn where there would be climbers like on the outside.
Oh, weird.
I've never heard about this until I was looking information about this up, but apparently they used to have a show of some kind. And usually when there's a show with performers, in their break room they'll have something inside that can get them amped up, like the Indiana Jones stage show at Hollywood Studios. They have a tennis court backstage. It might not be a tennis court. It might be what's it called where you play against the wall? You know what I'm talking about?
Racquetball?
Yeah, it's I think it might be a racquetball. It could be a tennis court. I can't remember. But
I can't remember either. I think it is tennis court.
It is tennis? Okay. But they have something like that behind Indiana Jones just to get the performers like amped up. And so in the Matterhorn, they built a basketball court. It's not a very big one. It's just one hoop and one backboard. But it's like a half a court, maybe a bit smaller. But yeah, it's just on the top, one of the top levels of the Matterhorn. Inside the Matterhorn is just hollow, so it's kind of a break room / like recreational area for the cast members and the performers if they just want to go up there on their breaks. I don't think you can go up there now. Could be wrong. I don't know. I've never worked there.
Oh, that'd be nuts. Take your breaks in the Matterhorn and play basketball.
That would be sick. I would do that all the time.
Yeah.
And I know we did the NBA experience yesterday,
which was amazing.
We could have talked about that.
We could have next week. Yeah, I've actually heard of this one. The basketball court. I didn't realize about the performance though.
I didn't either. And just in case, don't take my word for it, because I've just never heard of it before. But I saw a couple different places talking about it, so I was like, well, I guess it might be true.
I guess I've just never questioned it. I was just like, oh yeah, there's basketball court in Matterhorn. Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I accepted it for a fact, because I was like, well, I've literally seen like recreational areas behind like stages for their performers to like get amped up in a way.
I mean, it makes sense.
So I was like, that would totally make sense, because I'd never questioned it either. I've never really been like, oh, I wonder why there is a basketball court up there. I've just been like, oh, that's weird.
No, for real, yeah. I don't know.
So not super spooky, but I wanted one spooky one and then one kind of like that was more fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, I'll go with my last one then.
Okay.
I'm gonna read this out of this little website I found because they said it much better than I could.
What's the website?
The 13th floor.
All right.
I don't know. It's kind of just a random one.
Figure we should say what website if we're gonna read off it.
Yeah, it makes sense. But this Disney loves telling this story. If you ever do like a tour with them, like on Main Street at all, they like always tell this story, and I think it's actually pretty interesting.
What's the story?
So Walt had an apartment above the fire station on Main Street. And it's basically kind of said that when he would go there, when he was working, he'd like flick the light on to like let people know he was there and working or whatever. After his death, the apartment remained empty, but employees still went up to like dust it and clean it, all that jazz. Now, the story is that one night a woman went up and she did her usual cleaning route, shut off the desk lamp, and went downstairs. On Main Street, she noticed the light was still on, so she just thought she forgot about it. So she went up back to the apartment, shut off the light, came back downstairs again, and she looked back up, and the light was on again. So now she was thinking they were shorting the lamp, so she went back into the apartment, unplugged the lamp, and left. Now, when she went back to Main Street, she looked up again, saw the light was blinking on. and the drapes pull back as if there was someone looking down at her.
Man, that would be such a sick prank.
Yeah,
It'd
right.
be awesome. There's just another cleaning lady just like hiding in the closet. Like, I'm gonna turn it back on every time she leaves.
Yeah, no. But I guess now the cast members just leave the light on every night to like remind people that Walt is still in the park and like hanging around.
Yeah,
I guess. But yeah, I don't know. They like to tell that story a lot, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So if you ever go there, I guess you can look and see the lights on.
that's cool. Yeah, I've never heard about that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always told it. I've done a couple.
I've never done like the Main Street tours or anything.
Yeah, I
so-
did a Halloween one, and I think they talked about it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I did this one here recently, just a normal Main Street one, and they talked about it again.
Okay.
So
Oh, cool.
they didn't necessarily say this like spooky part at the beginning where she like turned off the light and came back down. I think they did on the Halloween tour, but like not this last one I went to. They just had
Yeah.
the light
definitely.
paints on.
Okay. That's really cool. I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, we have a little bit more time, so I don't know if you want to come with anything else to talk about. But do you have any like spooky stories working at Disney? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like
Figment's terrifying.
yeah.
Sorry, I love Figment, but you know, I'll go in there at close when nobody else is there, and like there's like this soundtrack that is terrifying. If I can find a clip of it, I might like insert it here for you guys. But like it like creeped me out so much. So like just when you're like alone
Yeah.
and like
The park is so different
Yeah.
when it's 12:30 at night and no one's there anymore, and you're walking back to the area to clock where you clock out, and there's just no one, and the music's still kind of playing. Like,
Yeah.
it can be kind of creepy.
Yeah, exactly. I also had this time at the seas too. I love doing the seas at night because it's so fun. Like the aquarium's so lively, but like there's nobody there.
Yeah. Oh, I never did that when I used to work there.
I've had like great times there where like I just, you know, pulling the trash or whatever, and then all of a sudden the dolphins come and I feel like they're singling me out and they're coming to say hi because I'm the only one there. So that's fun. But this one time it was like I felt like it was darker than usual, and I went to Turtle Talk, and you know how there's like little aquariums there in Turtle Talk?
yeah.
All of a sudden it sounded like a wave was like crashing, or like there's just like a bunch of splashes, and I like literally jumped up. I was like, it scared me, and I looked over, and there's this stingray like trying to escape the aquarium.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then like the rest of the time I was in the seas, I was like super on edge.
Oh man,
And
that's funny. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, just imagine this like super quiet, you know, this very subtle background music's playing, you know, and then like I at one point I looked behind me and I like saw somebody, and it like scared me, but it was just a mannequin. Yeah, those are my two scary stories.
Okay, I like it. I got one, but I usually don't like telling it because it's just so ridiculous. And I've told you this. You know what I'm telling, right? I've
No.
totally told you.
You maybe have told me, but I don't know.
I'm
where
sure
you're
you'll
going.
remember when I start telling it. It's always been the scariest thing that's ever happened to me at Disney, and it's I don't usually buy into like, you know, like spooky, like like supernatural things, and so I don't buy into this. There's a logical explanation that I'll explain after I tell the story, but this did 100% happen. I'm not lying. So I just want to say I'm not like making this up. So I'll explain why it's totally a normal thing that happened and what actually was going down at the end, or at least my logical explanation, I should say. So back when I did my college program in 2015, I was closing Pecos Bill restrooms, and so this was back when Magic Kingdom was open like really late. They don't do it as late anymore, I feel like. So I was there. It had to be like 11 or 12, something like that. It was late. And so I'm cleaning out these restrooms. Most of the people are leaving, like they're kind of teetering out, and so the bathroom's super quiet, just the music playing or whatever. And so I'm cleaning, and this kid, he's probably like 4 or 5, 6, like in that ballpark. He just walks in to the restroom. I look up at him, and he's just this incredibly dirty kid. Just has like dirt all over him. He's wearing kind of like raggedy looking clothes, and he just has blood all over his hands. Like,
Oh
you,
my gosh.
you know, he just not like leaking down, but it just was like dark red, like on his hands.
Like it dried?
What?
Like dried?
Not dried, but like scratched up, kind of. You know,
Like maybe bloody nose or something.
maybe, yeah, maybe it was something. I could see it being something like that. But he walks in, and I just like right away, just like that image was just kind of creepy. So like normally I'm very like, you know, talkative with kids, but this time I was just like, "Hey, bud, how's it going?" And he just kind of looks at me, and then just keeps walking. And I'm like, "This is creepy." It was just us two in this bathroom, and then he looks up at me and was like, "Who made this?" And I was like, "Walt Disney, buddy." And he was like, "Is he still alive?" And I was like, "Nope, he died a long time ago." And then he just kind of just stood there. And then I heard someone yelling from outside, and he just goes wide-eyed and sprints out. And I immediately like run to my stock closet because the whole experience kind of creeped me out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
That's way scarier than Figment at night.
this 100% happened. Like, I'm not making this up. But like I said, I don't buy into like I'm not a very supernatural person. I really am not. I'm kind of one of those people that just I always come up with a logical explanation for what happened. So what I think happened, just to prove I'm not like making this up, like that, because I don't like telling this story because it just sounds so stupid. Like, you know, it sounds like something someone would make up. But what I think happened was this kid tripped and ended up scraping up his hands, or like you said, got a bloody nose and just had blood all over his hands because of that. And so he came inside, and why he wasn't so talkative was because English wasn't his first language. He wasn't like, he looked like he, you know, was from a different country. He couldn't speak English very well. And so when he came in there, he went in to wash his hands, but he was taking too long. I guess he was slow. I don't know. And his dad, I'm assuming outside, yelled at him at a different language to come out, to hurry up. And that's why he ran, because he was taking too long. Mm-hmm. So
did he wash his hands?
No, he didn't. that was another weird part. It was like he walked in and then ran out. Yeah, so super weird. I normally don't like telling this story because no one ever like, and every time I do, I have to preface with like, I swear this is true. It's got a logical explanation, but this is what happened, and no one ever believes me. So I don't really like telling it because it sounds ridiculous. but yeah, it 100% happened. It was really creepy, but nothing spooky was going on. It was just a dirty kid with blood over his hands.
Nothing spooky. Just a random child with blood all over.
Well, he clearly like tripped or something, and he just had bloody, like you said, bloody nose. Very likely. But from what I'm remembering, I feel like it looked like kind of like he scratched up his hands real bad. So like, I don't know. Maybe it was more like a bloody nose. But I do remember like it was clearly like it was clearly like bloody. And I just remember, and yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
You don't remember me telling this story?
No, I
totally remember.
Kind of do.
Okay.
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have any like more fun stories?
That was definitely
fun, scary stories, or just scary stories? I don't think I do though. My life's pretty tame.
I remember I went to a stock closet, stubbed my toe hard on the corner of the wall, keeled over, and was like, "Ow!" Like, because you know I'm alone. I was like, I can comfortably like express my pain. And then I heard a voice deep in the back of the closet being like, "You okay, buddy?" And someone else was in the stock closet I didn't see. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just didn't know anyone was in here." I hit my toe hard.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. I don't think I have any more. I'm
Okay.
trying to kill 12 minutes so we can get an hour.
That's okay. We can cut it short.
All right. Well, again, happy Halloween, everyone. Hope it's a good one for you. I have off that day. I'm going to Mickey's Not So Scary. So
I'm going to hand out candy.
so excited. Oh, that'll be fun. Very adult of you.
So adult. I don't have fun anymore. Nah, that's a lie. I'm going to buy extra candy and eat it myself.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a
I'm going to
brilliant
wait
idea.
till the day after and buy all candy half off. Does that happen with Halloween?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice. That's what I'm doing then. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you next time. And as always,
Quaharini.